tunnel which has become the epicenter of rescue operations at Uttarakhand. Hours after hours is ticking away, and with that the challenges are also increasing. What are the challenges before rescuers? Look at that tunnel there, and look at the muck and the slush that is leading up to the tunnel. It is difficult to walk in this. That's why wooden planks have been placed. You see those wooden planks? Those have been placed so that you can navigate the slush. And this is only on the outer part. Inside that tunnel, we are told till about half the height of the tunnel, this slush covers it completely. The reason for that, this is the river which broke all barriers on Sunday and crashed through the NTPC and the Rishi Ganga barrages. This muck and the debris that the river carried was brought all the way up to the mouth of the tunnel, to the extent that even the mouth of the tunnel was completely covered. So that became challenge number one. First, to locate the mouth of the tunnel itself. Second, to find an opening to get inside. That took a lot of time. Heavy machinery had to be brought in. The Border Road Organization contributed. There was also smaller JCB machines that were brought in, because big JCB machines which are standing outside could not really maneuver. So that was the second challenge that they were facing. Challenge number three, this river water, by about 9:35, 9:40 on Sunday, the level started rising. The point where I am standing right now, the water level had come to this point. So all the rescuers who are using this river bank as a tow hold and also as kind of parking for their equipment, they had to then retreat. So the rescue operations had to be halted. Fourth, there's a problem as far as the oxygen supply is concerned. You can't go too deep inside without knowing what lies in store. Some of those who were pulled out from the other tunnel were gasping for breath. Some had become unconscious because oxygen inside was dipping. So that's the other challenge. You have to ensure oxygen supply for your men and personnel as well. The thing that has happened is that the NDRF members who have gone in, I spoke to some of them, they repeatedly called out. They carried the canine squad. They also carried thermal image cameras to figure out who are the victims inside. If there is a human being, the heat from the body of the human being can be caught on that camera. They tried everything possible. They even shouted out to get a response, but no response came in. Meanwhile, you can see the ITBP personnel still making an effort. They're constantly going in, but the challenges are not receding in any way. The point that these personnel are making is that the slush and the muck from the river has covered this tunnel to this extent, and we don't know. You can see the JCB machine there bringing out the slush. We don't know till what depth this slush has really covered the tunnel, and that's the big challenge right now, to pull out all the slush and the muck, to create some kind of pathway for the personnel so that they can go inside and hunt for people who are missing. We don't know the numbers yet. Tentatively, we were told between 35 and 50. That's also something that we will know only once the rescue operation is over.